nuts about small businesses and becoming successful. I want to ask you two quick questions if I may. One is, if you're a small business owner here in Menlo Park, independent mom and pop, and you realize it's a general question, what's the first three things you do to help grow your business in today's economy?
I mean, obviously, general question, right? Everybody's got different things, but the first thing I would do, truly the first thing I would do, is I would look myself in the mirror and get as real and honest with myself as possible. I think one of the really big mistakes that business owners make is they lie to themselves. They think like, in my genre, they don't think that social media matters. They say things like, well, my customer's not on Facebook or Twitter, right? I think the first thing I would do is look in the mirror and say, are you really doing the best thing you possibly can for your business in 2011? Are you positioning your business to be successful? In a world of iPads and apps and Facebooks and Twitters and live video and check-in, and I know what the answer is. I know that 90% of the people that are going to watch this on your blog or whatever site you put it on, the answer is no. The answer is no, because they don't want to deal with it because it's hard. When you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you don't want to relearn a whole new skill set. The fact of the matter is, I promise that you did something at one point in your career that became a competitive advantage against your competitors, and that's about to happen to you. Remember when you launched a website and the other guys didn't? Remember when you would go to all the Chamber of Commerce events and you were hungry and you did it and they didn't and you gained business? All that stuff is now going to happen to you if you don't realize that this stuff matters. So that would be number one. Number two, I would start going to events to educate myself on the stuff that I don't understand. I think real life stuff matters. I think real touching matters. I love the digital world, and I'm going to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning tonight in my hotel room replying to people on Facebook and Twitter and touching them digitally. But touching people personally, I think, is still massively important. And I think a lot of the people that are watching this, small business owners, you're going to understand that part. And understand that part actually has more equity now than it ever has before. Not because people do it less, but because if you complement it with the way you touch people digitally, with touching them in real life, you win. And I think most of the young people that really understand the stuff that you don't, they're going to touch people digitally, but you're not going to touch them in real life. And that's where your opportunity will lie. Number three, I would really, really understand the marketplace. I think the biggest mistake that small businesses make is they think their business is local. And in 2011, your business is not local. Your customer's more educated than ever. They're Googling, they're searching. They have so much data on what service or product you sell today. And just because you might have the best price locally doesn't mean that you're going to win locally. And so I think that one of the biggest things, and I'm very passionate about small business where I come from. My dad has small liquor stores where I cut my teeth. I'm surprised how many small local businesses or large local businesses think it's local. Local is dead. Local's alive and well, but as a competitive landscape, you're competing against the world. And if you're not spending a good couple hours a week understanding what's going on competitively in LA and in New York City and in Hong Kong, and it may sound ridiculous, you may be an interior designer, but people are getting context from around the country, and when you come in and you get the price of $20,000, and they know in New York it's $20,000, that sounds out of whack because that should be more expensive there. You have to know what's going on.
Starting a video.
I just think it's a lot of hard work, but your hard work can now be done from the confines of your porch. You don't have to go into the shop. And so, yes, it's hard, but it's much better than it used to be because I still have to open and close my store. You can do a lot more now digitally to take advantage of that.
Okay. Last question. I heard you talking about real estate just a couple of things, but we had a bunch of real estate agents show up here at tonight's day. And so this is one, his name's Rishi, he runs a real estate office. The question is, what would you do if you were a real estate agent here in this market here?
I think that real estate agents, and please don't be upset, and I'm saying this out of the goodness of my heart, I think it's, I think that the collective douchiness of the market has hurt a lot of people. And I firmly believe that. I don't think you're a douche, I don't think you are, but the fact of the matter is, the market is polluted because when it's a bubble market and things are good, clowns get involved, and it's a gold rush, right? And there's very hardcore used salesman-like tactics that are clouding the waters of real estate. And I say this because I'm a salesman, so I see it from a mile away. Business in 2012 and beyond is going to be more about listening than ever. Every real estate person I know wants to talk. And so the real estate agent that becomes the best listener is going to win. The other thing that I think real estate people can do is can become bigger than who they are. They should start educating their consumer. Your customer knows it anyway. They're Googling. Think about if you're in real estate for a long time, think about how much your market has changed in the last 10 years. consumers so much smarter. They know so much more. You used to make money on the hidden fees and opportunities that now customers know about. What you have to realize is that's going to continue to happen, and your social equity is going to be your biggest differentiator. I would literally start communicating. I would literally become the anti-real estate agent and start exposing. Think of yourselves as like 2020 or Dateline, or what would you do? I would expose real estate. You know all the things. You know little things. I remember a real estate person really won my confidence. I didn't end up using them because they were in their market. But if I ever moved to San Diego, I know who I would use, because he rolled up at me and said, "Hey, by the way, I heard you're buying an apartment in New York City a couple years ago." He said, "Just so you know, when you're selling your apartment and you're going to want to sell it, and the real estate person's going to say, yes, sell for $100,000 less. Don't forget they're only making $6,000 less. You're making $100,000 less." And the way he said it came from such a pure place. I remember thinking, man, if I ever buy a vacation home in San Diego, that's the guy I want to use. I think that if somebody goes out and starts creating content of all the myths and really starts helping people in a local area, I'm like, this is what's going on. Here's why marble, if you renovate, use marble, because you'll get X more value for your home. But don't use for just the shit that you guys all know. If you took away the curtain, that's the real opportunity in real estate, because there's so much garbage polluting the waters that if somebody goes pure, they win big. And it's hard, and I get it. But if you're running a marathon, you'll always have a business, and if you're running a sprint, you're going to have a good business when things are good, and you have shit right now when things are bad. People are selling homes right now. You know who's selling them? The good players. The people that have real ethics. The ones that when push comes to shove, are going to win the business because people want to do business with them.
Okay, great. Do you have another book coming out or any plans?